Like, how attractive of a woman can I get? All right, I used to be able to get 7s, now I get 8s, now I can get 9.5s now. I want to see what's the most attractive woman I can get.
I think the only way the power couple dynamic works is if y'all meet and y'all are already that.
A man's wife has the most influence on his decision making than anybody else he's gonna be with. How you gonna want a woman to be in her soft energy all day? How you gonna cook and clean it if she gotta work for 10 hours,
right,
put in overtime, deal with her boss, deal with coworkers, stress her out, and she's supposed to come home and be emotionally open and available to like cater to your every need? Like you can't have.
What do successful men, wealthy men, like what do they want in a significant other? What's up, family? Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of the Melanin Money Show.
Yes, sir.
Feels good to be back because y'all don't know this, right? But like we have batched a good amount of episodes. It's been since April. We ain't been in the studio since what, April 8th?
Yeah, but the good thing about batching is when we did it, the video quality was crazy.
Can we admit that the quality of the most recent episodes that y'all seen went crazy?
And we can't go back.
We can't go back.
Can't go back.
Right? So we're back in the studio. Excited, ready to have a good time. Carter, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, bro. New York got me happy, bro.
Summertime in New York,
Summertime in New York,
So what do y'all
bro.
think? Summertime in New York or summertime shy? Like, I know summertime shy got the moniker, but like, I don't know.
Bro, it's
neck and neck.
Hey, look, you can't lose.
You can't lose.
You can't lose with either one of those.
Can't lose. We gotta get a spot here, man. I feel like that's the new that's the new plan. Like every year we gotta get a spot in the cities we want to be in.
Yeah.
Every year. So we got New York on the list, Chicago on the list. Gotta get something international. Rich relative residences. You know what I'm saying? Rent them out when we're not using them.
Yeah.
Gotta do it, man.
Yeah.
Gotta do it.
Location freedom.
Location freedom. So what's on your mind, bro? What's up?
Well, I really want to do, because we talked about this a little bit last night, and just like, you know, and we're different because you found your wife after you had money. Before you had money, right? And I'm single with money now. So I think we should do an episode about like what wealthy men want, because I really think there's a gap or a disbelief about what we want and what women think we want.
And it's fair because we're qualified to speak on it. Because sometimes if you talk about like what women should do or this, that, and the third, they're like, you're not qualified to speak on it. But we're qualified to speak on what we want.
Yeah, I don't know what a woman should do, but I know what I want. You know what I'm saying? And I hang around other wealthy guys to know what they want. So I think that we should definitely do an episode talking about that. We can kind of give both of our perspectives, being one single and one happily married. But before that, we have some breaking news because my portfolio is portfolioing.
For sure.
And so shout out to you for that. And one company that's heavily weighted in our portfolio is Apple. And a few weeks ago, they partnered with ChatGPT, right?
Yep. So they partnered with ChatGPT, and now Siri is going to be powered by ChatGPT. So it's really going to feel like you have a true personal assistant in your pocket. Because we've all used Siri in the past and maybe feel like, oh, Siri didn't really do what she was supposed to do.
She don't be calling the right people sometimes.
She be calling the right people like, yo, bro, what you doing? Siri, get it together. But now with ChatGPT, Siri is going to be doing her thing. But here's the biggest revelation that I saw. I was like, and it was so smart, right? Apple, speaking of the power of brand, so Apple's brand is bigger than people's understanding of AI at this point in the game, right? It's going to continue to grow. So Apple, my belief is they say, okay, well, AI, Apple Intelligence, right? People are going to look at the acronym of Apple Intelligence and now make that synonymous with AI, right? And because AI stocks are all the rave right now, that means that from a search engine optimization standpoint, Apple is going to get a lot of that traffic, right? Which is inherently going to drive up.
They can just buy the keyword, and because they actually are they naming Siri like AI, like Apple Intelligence or something like that?
I mean, I don't know if they're like completely changing that. I just know that it's now that's what it's called. Like that's what's
Apple Intelligence, powered by Apple Intelligence, yeah.
So that's going to be crazy. Like it's going to be people I know it's going to happen. Like, people going to say something about AI. You mean the Apple Intelligence thing?
Yeah.
Like, well, AI has kind of been a thing before that, but yeah. So shout out to Apple, but I mean, we're happy. Yeah. Right?
Stock is up, was up, like overnight, I think like what's 5%? 7%.
Yeah, I think for the month it's up to like 14. It was up to all the way up to 16. Now it's like 13% for the month. And Apple is both of our largest holding in our portfolio, one of them at least.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I remember this is before, I think before we was partners, we was just like, connecting and whatnot. And I was trying to flex on it. I was like, yo, bro, look at my look at my portfolio. He's like, hold on, bro. I got some of that too.
I got a whole lot of that. Let me get some of that pie, brother.
Don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
So that's the real reason why we decided to be partners. But other than that, I was like, man, he made good decisions.
Yeah.
But other than that, man, yeah, Apple's killing it. We know we got to do a reach of the week.
Yeah.
We got to do a reach of the week.
Oh, yeah, man. I don't know if I would have saved the person, man, because he my man's. And I don't think he would mind, but I won't say any names.
Okay,
I won't say any names.
No face, no case.
Yeah, no face, no case. But recently, one of our friends, he's like, cause I live in Colombia, right? He's like, hey, bro, I'm coming to Colombia soon.
Yeah.
And I'm coming to Colombia soon. Like, what city you live in? So I told him I live in Medellin. He's like, I'm not coming to Medellin. I'm going to a different city. I said, all right, cool. He never told me what he was coming for.
Yeah.
And then I just go on Instagram and like he's talking, like, and then I'm like, bro, something looked different with his face. There's something going on with his mouth, bro. And then I had like FaceTimed him, bro, and then he just got to talking to me regular. I said, bro, like you can't soft launch the veneers, dog. Like you gotta, you can't. Like it kills me when people like they'll go get their teeth done,
right,
and then they'll say nothing about it, and then they'll come to your face and talk to you regular,
right,
like you're not supposed to stare at their mouth.
Talk to me nice, bro. Like, because when people first get them, it feel like they look like their teeth always about to fall out. They like, like you got dentures or something. So it's like, bro, let's just get it out the way. It's cool. No one's knocking what you're doing, but like, we cannot soft launch the veneers, right? Like, yeah, just so we all know, yes, I got some new teeth, a new set of teeth, but we got to stop the soft launch of the veneers.
Yeah,
right?
like just document the process. Like, I'm on my way to Colombia, boom, boom, boom. Y'all see my teeth now. Here's what I want to look like, aftermath, like cool. Make it like a whole like weight loss journey thing or whatever, but like you can't soft launch the veneers, dog, because like I'm gonna be staring at your mouth and I feel bad for staring.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you gotta say something, dog.
Say something, bro.
You can't just surprise me with,
I just got the veneers.
The teeth that are 3 inches longer than they were last week.
Yo.
But yeah, I mean, like, again, I have nothing against them. I think that if you don't like your smile, go ahead and fix it, whatever. But you gotta say something, man.
What do you think is more prominent right now? Is the veneers or the BBLs?
I still think that, well, living in Colombia, both. Yeah. But I think the veneers are coming more because, like, and I can't knock people because if you know that you're like on your way to being a public figure.
You gotta fix your mouth.
You gotta fix your mouth,
right? Because
you don't want to get like on the bigger stages and be like, "Hey, man, what's going on?"
People ain't gonna be able to focus. It's like, yo, bro,
what's going on in there, man?
The yuck mouth is crazy.
Yeah, like Andrew Tate, like a lot of prominent people, they got their teeth done when they like on their way up because you got to smile a lot. You're gonna be on TV a lot, right? So I get it, but like just don't soft launch it.
Yeah, like matter of fact, there was this dude on Instagram recently, he's going viral, and he's a heavy set dude, gained some weight. He used to be smaller, like he's probably like. At this point, probably 50, 60 pounds overweight or whatever. Yeah. He was just like, yo, like I have so much self-awareness that like life is more harsh to people who don't look good, right? It's like you gotta take care of yourself. You gotta make sure your skin is right. You gotta make sure your teeth is right. You gotta make sure your body's right. Because like, I don't know if it's just we're hardwired as humans, but like life is easier for attractive people. Now, here's the thing. Like, there's a lot that I know attraction is subjective, but there's a lot that you can control, right? Yep. Is your skin clear? Are you not overweight, right? Are your teeth right? Like, other than that, like, yeah, there's some things you can't control, but like control the controllables. Mm-hmm. Because I don't know if it's the way we're wired as humans, but life is easier on attractive people.
And like we can speak to it. I know I can speak to it because I wasn't always attracted, bro. I had it rough coming up. Like it was bad. It was a bad time. I never told you this.
Nah.
Okay, so when I was a shorty. You had the friend group and y'all like go. So the Taste of Chicago was like the biggest thing in Chicago, and we always go to Taste Chicago to get like girls' numbers and stuff like that. And all my friends like in shape, like some had 6-packs. Yeah. So and I'm not going I'm not lowering my standards. I got the same standards as all y'all. Yeah. So we went to the Taste of Chicago one year, bro, and like we knew. I knew how to get girls in like a party setting. It's not that hard. You just ask for her number or whatever. Yeah. But in a public daytime, so you have to talk to women. Yeah. So in the Taste, bro, I didn't know how to stop a girl from walking, bro. So like this girl walked past and I just had to go for it. I kind of like grabbed her arm to like get her attention, bro. So I grabbed her like left arm. She came with the right arm, came over the head, bro, slapped my hand down. Man, if you ever grab me again, bro, and when I say it is 6 other Kids, bro, my homies are on the ground in public.
Man.
Like, the echo from the hand slap was so loud, dog.
Yeah.
Bro, slapped my hand down, tore me a new one, and they just laughed, bro. I ain't asked for another girl number the rest of that day.
What's up, family? If it's one thing that I know is true, is that you can survive without community, but you can't thrive without community. And in order to build true community, you have to get in the right room with the right people. And so we wanted to create that room especially for you. This is why we have Wealth Weekend. This is gonna be a weekend experience where you're gonna get amazing education, amazing experiences, and amazing entertainment all in one weekend so you can become that first generation millionaire in your family. Because one thing I stand on is generational curses ran in my family until they ran into me. So my question is, are you gonna be that curse breaker for your family? And if you want to, you need to join Wealth Weekend. So click the link below and we'll see you there. Now let's get back to the episode.
Since we sharing stories you never told before, I'm gonna tell you this. So this is what inspired me to put that shit on. This is the story, okay? So you know back in the day you heard about layaway, right? Where you had to put the clothes on layaway. Yeah. So one year, my moms didn't have all the money to get the clothes. So beginning of the summer, we put some clothes on layaway. It's like a few fresh outfits, right? We had just a handful, right? And I had one pair of shoes that I thought was neutral enough to like go with all the outfits. So I had this one outfit in particular. It was a Tommy Hilfiger shirt, some Tommy jeans. You like the little carpenter jeans that used to have the little thing on the side, the little swoop. You remember that? Like the little carpenter jeans that had like the little.
Oh yeah,
the little swoop thing on the side. Yeah. Not the cargo, but the carpenter joints. So I just knew that outfit was fresh. I might have wore that outfit like once a week, right? And back then I'm like, cool, like whatever. Yeah. And I came to school one day, and this girl who shall remain nameless, she was like, damn, you really love that outfit, don't you? Like, it was the inflection that she said it with. She's like, she was sick of seeing the outfit.
If I see that outfit one more time,
she's like, damn. I was like, okay. Yeah. Say less. So then I started, getting a little bit of coins, started working, and she created a monster. I hope you see me now. Letitia, whatever your name was, Latasha.
She said, man, if I see the outfit one more time, we gonna have surprise.
Hurt my feelings, because I just knew I was fresh that day.
Other people hear it? Or it was
yeah. It was like homeroom, middle school. That's what inspired me to you know what? I'm gonna put that shit on. I'm gonna figure this dressing thing out.
And the lesson in all this is we all have those one moments that define us, right? Mm-hmm. It's either going cower in that moment, or you're gonna let it define you and say, this will never happen to me again.
Facts.
I will never have a woman slap my hand that hard in public and make adults. It were adults laughing, bro. Yikes. Like grown men laughing. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like,
damn, shorty.
Yeah, never again, bro.
Yeah. But speaking of never again and finding what you want when it comes to a woman, let's talk a little bit about that, right? So, obviously there's two different perspectives here. Mm-hmm. I'm married, have been for almost 10 years at this point, which is crazy.
That's crazy. That's a decade. That's
crazy. And then you now are at the financial peak, at least at this point.
Don't put a cap on me, brother.
Oh, nah.
Don't put a cap on it now.
You just more so than you've been in the past, right?
There you go.
At a really good place in life. And so now it's like, all right, well, when I think about what I thought I wanted versus what I actually want, let's kind of unpack a little bit. Like, what do successful men, wealthy men, what do they want in a significant other?
Yeah, well, I think when you first get a little bit of scratch.
For those of you who don't know,
get a little bit of change.
Shout out to Wallow.
Yeah, shout out to Wallow. You get a scratch. When you get a little bit of change, you kind of want to see what the limit is. How attractive of a woman can I get, right? All right, I used to be able to get 7s, now I get 8s, now I get 9.5s now. Mm-hmm. So when you first get money, you just kind of go up that ladder of I want to see what's the most attractive woman I can get. Right. And I don't fault anybody for doing that. I don't fault myself for doing that, because when you people say that money don't solve your problems or money don't bring happiness, but everybody got to figure it out on their own, right?
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. Money ain't gonna bring happiness. Let me figure that out. let me be the one to decide.
That's one thing I want to learn from experience. You know what I'm saying? Hands-on
experience.
Yeah.
So I chased that for a while, and transparently moving to Colombia, it's they had some of the most beautiful women on the planet. So I've been able to get some of the most beautiful women I've ever had in my life in the past 12 months. But probably the biggest reality check was everybody's beauty fades like after a while, and I don't mean like fade. They look less attractive. I'm just mean like the human brain has a system where you get used to things really fast.
It's like getting a brand new car, right? You first get it, it's the best thing ever, and then at some point, it's just a car.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So like you chase the attractiveness, but then like after 2, 3, 4 months, it kind of it kind of fades for you, at least for you, and you starting to see the real character of a person. And so for me, like I realized that. Looks isn't like you can only chase look for so long because there's always going to be a better looking woman. Like, there's always going to be a better looking woman than one you have. So like there's no point of making that the main factor. And I think that now you're looking for somebody like in the most simplest version of it that could bring you peace and give you confidence as a man, right? Because you don't want a woman who is talking down on you and making you feel like less than, and you just want like yo, if I'm out here. I got a team of 30 people. I got to manage their expectations. I got to manage their emotions. I got a business I'm running. I'm putting out fires all the time. Like I don't want to come home and have to put out another fire, bro. Like I saw this clip on Instagram. A girl was like, "A man got to be able to handle me." I don't want to come home and have to handle anything. I've been handling shit all day long. So I think that I think for wealthy men, they want somebody that can bring them peace, that they can talk to about ideas, and that can really be the sounding board for a lot of decisions and stuff, bro. It's just like if you don't have that, like. You ain't gonna work.
When you're trying to talk to somebody and you just a pretty face, right? With no personality, it's just like, oh, it's gonna be okay. Like not really offer no perspective. I think the benefit that I've been able to glean, being that I got with my significant other when I was just getting started, so to speak, and have grown, what I thought I cared about has changed, right? Because what I realized is that like you can't give everything equal weight, right? So if you look at a list of traits that you want from your spouse, like having consistent intercourse, whatever you want to call it, right? Like does not have the same weight as how frequently they cook, right? You can hire somebody to cook. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you realize that the things that you thought you cared about, like the domestic stuff, you don't really care about nearly as much.
So what was like, all right, pre-match George, like what did he think that he needed in a woman?
I want somebody that was bad, of course, somebody who cooked all the time, never came home to a dirty house, did the laundry, like just had the domestic stuff on lock, right? And just was my support system, right? Because I knew I was gonna be the man one day. I knew I was, you know what I'm saying? That's what I thought I wanted. But then you realize like there's a sweet spot, right? Because if a woman has nothing going on besides supporting you exclusively, that's the only thing she has going on, at some point she could potentially resent your success, right? Or just not have enough going on to where she's all up under you all the time.
Because she ain't got nothing else to do.
She got nothing else to do. So you don't want that, right? But you also can't have somebody who it feels like we are in competition with. And it's like, yo, like who, like you just as big as I am business wise. Like who's just gonna take priority because like we both are just killing. I think that is a idealistic dynamic that people paint that's not that realistic. Like I think the only way the power couple dynamic works is if y'all meet and y'all are already that. Right? If one of the persons kind of building or built it and another person's trying to build, well, guess what? While they're trying to build and you're already kind of where you're at, like you don't have the time because you're the main breadwinner. You don't have the time to be like, all right, well, let me give you the grace and I can take on like, so it's a very messy dynamic, right? So what I would say is like, I'm still very traditional, but I also still want my woman to have her own identity. So for me, what I've learned is your woman needs to have enough space to be that support system for you, but still have enough wherewithal to have her own personal interests, her own things that she cares about. But maybe the household isn't reliant upon what they do. So there's always this unwritten contract that says, if shit gets tight in terms of like energy and time, like my what I'm doing can never slow down, right? And it's just an implicit contract. It doesn't mean that I'm overshadowing what you're doing. It just means that we know, like, if George stops, like, that's gonna be an issue for our household, right? I can flex on what I'm doing because the household isn't relying upon it, but I'm also not putting my dreams on the back burner. I just have the space because there's no financial impact to the household if we have to adjust and switch things around. That's what I realized, for at least for me, is a sweet spot.
Yeah, and I heard this, shout out to my homie for saying this. He said he's been married for like successful like 20 years. Wife super supportive. I said, like, what's the best lesson you learned in that? And he said, if you don't give a woman something to nurture, she will nag. So at first, he was like, I make all this money. You don't got to do nothing. Like, all you got to do is cook, clean, like whatever. But she would be done with that in 2 hours. Like, you know what I'm saying? So now she's just at home doing nothing.
Where you at? Why you gone so long?
Like, yeah, well, he's like, yo, I'm providing for you. You can go shopping. You can like, I'm doing everything. Why are you bothering me? Because she had nothing to nurture.
Right. And women are nurturers at
Yes, they need something to nurture. So he was like, well, I had to give her the non-for-profit arm of my business. And then she blew up because it was like to either give her that or give her a kid. He wasn't ready to give her a kid at that point. You know what I'm saying? So he gave her that non-for-profit arm, and that fulfilled her enough so that she wasn't bothering him all the time. So I think that's a great point, because at first I thought I said, I'm not dating anybody. And I feel bad for this. I even broke up with girls in the past because they weren't boss enough for me. Like, you got to answer
I remember
to
we first
do
met. You like say you wanted a boss.
I wanted a boss. I'm like, you got to own your own business. You got to be able to travel when I travel because we booking flights. Well, I don't want to hear nothing about you. Got to ask for PTO. Like, you need to be a boss because I want a power couple dynamic. You know what I'm saying? I want me to be going to your events, partying for you, to come to my events, partying for you. But then you date a girl like that and you realize that like, yo, how she gonna nurture you when she's running a business? Right. How she gonna be like most women? It's a really hard balance of being the CEO and then coming home and getting in your nurture bag, and you can't just switch it like that because you're still on from work.
And they're not wired like us, right? Like we're wired to just like go get it, hustle, whatever. Like they need downtime. They need so like it's not. Again, I'm not saying it's impossible. Yeah. But from what I see, it doesn't seem like it's the ideal dynamic. Yeah. Right?
And another thing that I think that, at least this is for the ladies, y'all need to, I just encourage you all to listen to this piece, because like nowadays, if I'm like dating somebody new or like, experiencing somebody new, like a lot of women put weight on, oh baby, you don't gotta worry about nothing. I'm gonna cook for you. I'm gonna clean for you. And what they don't understand is like when you're dealing with a millionaire or a multimillionaire, like cooking and cleaning is not as helpful or as higher as a high value add as you think, because at this point I have a chef that cooks every meal every day. She cooks breakfast, she cooks lunch, she cooks dinner. I have a maid that comes, cleans and washes clothes every day. So the same girl who says she can cook and clean, when she comes over, the food's already cooked, the clothes already washed. What are you doing? Right. You know what I'm saying? So if you're dealing with somebody at that high level, like I just think that we need to rethink the value add of cooking and cleaning. Like you need to find other ways to add value to that man, which is being his peace, which is helping him talk through decisions, which is again giving him the self-esteem to be confident, all those things. And I think that when you're dealing with a super high value man, you have to find ways. How can I make his life easier? That's it. Like that's the game. Right. How, like you need to sit and think. How can I make his life easier? What is he stressing about? Right. Like what? Like acts of service. And I think I can speak for like 80 to 90% of super high level men. Acts of service is the game. And if you can sit and think about ways to make his life easier, that man will never leave you.
And let's just set the appropriate context, right? Because I know some people like to look at sound bites and won't really understand what we're saying here, right? So the appropriate context is we understand what we're willing to provide and bring to the table to create the dynamic for the woman to be able to operate in that space. We're not the guy. This ain't the 50-50 podcast.
So we gonna let's make sure we talk about the guys that can't afford to be saying this.
Exactly.
Right. So literally.
Yeah. So I wanted to set the appropriate context. Like we are coming from this perspective, knowing what we're willing to provide and establish so that the woman can do. So I know when Carter was saying like we want a woman to make our lives easier, but that's with the context of knowing that you don't have any financial responsibilities. So one of your responsibilities is for the person who can't afford to mess up and take the break, like that you are supportive of that person so that they can thrive and they continue to do what they're providing for the household. But we're setting the environment to make that possible.
Yeah, fellas, if you are not willing to provide for the woman financially, physically, emotionally, to make her feel safe in all spaces, make her feel safe financially. She don't have to worry about money. Make her feel safe from a security standpoint. When she's with you, she don't have to look over her shoulder. And making her feel heard emotionally as well. If you're able to provide on all three of those pillars, then you have the authority to be able to request this from your woman. But if you ain't taking care of things financially, you're taking care of her emotionally and security wise, you don't, as in my opinion, as a man, have the right to demand this out of a woman. So I do want to set that context, like, fellas, because I do know some people who like saying the same thing as me, but I'm like, bro, you ain't took care of your part yet. Like, respectfully, you ain't took care of your
woman ain't doing this.
How you gonna want a woman to be in her soft energy all day? How you gonna cook and clean it? And she gotta work for 10 hours, put in overtime, deal with her boss who's selling, doing all the deal with coworkers, stress her out, and she's supposed to come home and be emotionally open and available to like cater to your every need. Like you can't have both, bro.
Can't have both, right? You can't have both. And to that end, again, this episode is not designed to speak for women, right? But we can set the tone on what we think is necessary for this to happen. And what I will say is, women, if a man is creating the environment for you to feel safe, right, you have to be okay with letting him lead, right? Like you might have been in a past relationship where the man was still figuring it out, right? Or whatever traumas associated with like you feeling like you still need to go and get it. But like once a man has proven himself that I'm willing to do this for us, and this is what's going to be best for the nature of the scope of the relationship, you have to be willing to let go of certain things, right? Like if you're working a job that he's saying isn't essential to the dynamic of the household, right? Then we can't argue about being tired or not having enough space to do whatever, and you have been given the all access pass to not have to do it, right? So it does take a give and take. Because if somebody creates the environment and you don't embrace it, then yeah, we are going to have this back and forth dynamic. So it's on both sides, right? It's like there's certain things a man has to do based on the expectations that he wants. But then once those expectations are set and once the environment is created, the woman has to embrace it so that it can happen. Because if not, you're going to be fighting an uphill battle. So whatever y'all got to do to address why there's the lack of comfort there, or what I learned is it could even be like an identity thing, right? If a person is not clear on what they are going to nurture or what they are going to do and what that looks like, they might be holding on to certain things just because they don't know what that next thing is.
Yeah.
Right. So but you can't necessarily solve that. So that's something that you have to solve, on your own. But I think it's important to address that, because if not, you'll have misguided frustrations on what you're trying to accomplish.
Yeah, and I do want to be empathetic of women, because like I know it's not like it's got to be scary for them, right? Like you dating this guy who's like the breadwinner doing all these things, but if he leaves you, where are you at?
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So like I get the risk that they're taking. Like, yeah, I mean, everything's good right now.
Right.
But if he leaves, my life is like, I gotta start over. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I do get the risk that they're taking by trying to date somebody like us, because and then once they get a certain lifestyle, they don't want to go. They ain't trying to go back. So I do get the risk that they're taking, but I personally just don't think it's that complicated.
Right. As long as you're on the same page.
Yeah. To date a super high level man and understand how to make that man happy. Now I do understand like it's struggles that you go in the room and everybody's talking to him and you got to figure out a way to be present but not be all, because people gonna look right past you and talk to him.
Right.
So I understand those different dichotomies that you got to work through, but I do think the overall payoff is worth it.
That's assuming that like the woman doesn't know how to work a room, right? Yeah. So like if you know how to work a room, like you could be the greatest asset in those rooms, right? Yeah. But speaking of which, so then with that logic of a woman taking the risk, what are your thoughts on prenups?
Yeah, so it's mandatory for me, but I think, and this might change in the future, I think like if I ever do get married, we're gonna write up our own contract. Like a marriage is an agreement; it's a business decision too, right? And so I get it from a woman's standpoint. Again, she don't want to like do all this work and then you leave her and then she's stuck with nothing. So I'm thinking today, like we'll sign an agreement and say, hey, you can get 10%. If this doesn't work out, because 10% is still gonna be a lot. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like 50 is just ridiculous, right? And saying she can't get anything is also ridiculous, because now she's like in the marriage, like worried and probably trying to like save up some money on the side in case things don't work out. So I think for me, it's gonna be like, hey, if this doesn't work out, you can get 10%. That way, you can still like live your life or whatever. But there is absolutely no way I'm personally getting married without a contractual agreement that states what the percentage is going to be if this doesn't work out.
10%. So I guess it just depends upon where you are in your journey at that point.
Yeah,
It's
like,
ever- yeah.
and it might be going up, it might be going down. We're gonna see, but I just think that like, cause she's protected, I'm protected.
Why 10% though?
I mean, so I didn't really do a lot of math behind it, but I just know where I'm at now, and if somebody was to take 10% of my net worth, she'll be fine.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
May go, I don't know. Like love changes, but like there's no way in my mind that like, because it's too much risk, bro.
Yeah.
Like
So,
it's too much risk.
So I'm actually
50%
curious
is
on this
crazy.
one. Yeah, y'all let me know in the comment. I'm very curious on this one because me and Madge obviously got married before I really had much. So like we didn't get a prenup.
Yeah. If that wasn't the case, I probably wouldn't have one.
Yeah.
Because you kind of helped me become the man to be able to get this
Right.
amount of money. You know what I'm saying?
So I'm curious to know in the comments, like, what are y'all's thoughts on prenups, right? Like, does a woman deserve half? Like, are there some deciding factors? 10%. So I'm curious on what people's thoughts are on it. Because here's my thoughts. Like, my thoughts are, I think that in hindsight, even though I didn't have much at the time, I think in hindsight, like, I think the reason why having a prenup was good is because you never know how you're going to feel after like one of the most traumatic experiences of your life, i.e. your marriage that you thought was going to last forever was ending, right? And you know, you never cut a tree down in the wintertime. And what I mean by that is like in that season when your emotions are high, like you're probably on both sides probably thinking irrationally or not feeling the best. So why not have a predetermined clause that says, regardless of how we're feeling at that moment, we already agreed that this is fine, right? Me and Madge, believe it or not, actually entertained a postnuptial.
What does that mean?
Basically, you're already married. So basically, like we're now at this time, even though we're married, we're now agreeing that if at this point something doesn't work, this is the agreement that we're honoring. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. It means you're getting it after you got married.
Gosh,
But while you're still married,
it's like trying to get a W-9 from a 1099 contractor after you already paid them.
Yeah.
It's like good luck getting them to sign.
yeah, but we both discussed it, right? We both like what does it look like? But just because it's like it just takes the guesswork out of like and all the just the nasty like drama associated with potentially.
This is mine. Like no, I want it all. Like yeah.
Let's have that conversation. You know, on the front end, like what does that look like? And if you didn't have it on the front end, you know, if your spouse is open to it, like having a conversation now again, and the people think that if you have a prenup, that means you're planning for the marriage to end. Like we have a business relationship and we have no intention of it ending, but we have agreements in place, right? We have an attorney right now revising our buy-sell agreement. So something happens to me, right? But Madge ain't trying to step in and be Carter's.
That's like saying don't go to the doctor because you assume something's wrong with you. Right. Like that's ridiculous.
Right. But that's how people think.
Yeah.
That's the stigma. The stigma is, it's the gold digger trying to get the older guy's money or whatever. Like that's the stigma associated with prenups. Whereas now all we're doing is putting a contract in place that says, this is what's going to happen so that even in our most darkest, frustrating hour, no one has to play the guessing game on how this is going to play out.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm curious on what y'all's thoughts are on prenups.
Yeah. You know what I'm looking for in a woman now? Shout out to Brent Fayez for saying this. And when I think he did a podcast with Wallow and Gilly on $1 Million Worth of Game, he said, you know what I'm searching for in a woman now? He said, what I'm looking for is when my woman steps in a room, like how do other women react to her presence? Right? Like you can tell, like when a woman is able to walk into a room and brighten the room up and everybody's like glowing and she makes everybody smile, like that's a woman that has great character, great intentions. But like you see, like, do you date a chick and then she come in the room and like, you know, her energy is off because like she's now jealous of other girls in the room or whatever, and girls are not gravitating to her. Like it's just like, you can tell, man. So for me now that I'm in big rooms, like if I bring a girl somewhere, I'll bring a girl to to an event, or I'll bring a girl to a conference I'm speaking at, I'm looking at how other people in the room gravitate to her. If she's alone, not talking to nobody, like why?
Right.
Like, why aren't you able to make a friend in this room? It's probably because your energy is off and people can sense this. So I want a woman now, one of the big things I'm looking for is like, what energy do you bring to a room? Like, are you able to like make people smile? Are you able to make people gravitate towards you? Are you able to like, if I leave you in a corner, did you already make 3 friends and probably make me a new business card? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's how.
Oh, you're not working with Carter yet?
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I'm moving the rooms. And that's probably like my first determining factor. So early on in the dating process, now I might take a girl to an event
Okay.
earlier than probably I should, but I want to see early.
Yeah,
I want to see how
that's
your
fair.
energy is early. I want to see how you react to other people early. That don't
Context
work.
matters.
Yeah,
Context.
that don't work.
Because I can hold y'all, right? We had an event, right, in April. And, big event, right? I didn't appreciate y'all saw it online, you know what I'm saying? And then Carter invited somebody. But yeah, I don't care, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Do your thing, brother. Live your life, brother. You know what I'm saying? I love it. I love to see it. But, but naturally, right, the thought process is like, just how people think, like, if somebody's bringing somebody to an event, oh, she must be the one. Like, she's girl. And I had never met the girl in person, so I was like, I know she ain't that. We talk every day. Oh, no. I hope she don't watch the podcast. But, so, I mean, just because of the time, not because she couldn't be, but just because of the time,
early.
right?
But like again, to your point, like women can look at it as you sitting mixed signals, but I don't know if the signal is mixed because the signal only gonna be mixed if you mess this up,
right?
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't want to get into it and really like you to find out that, like, your energy is off. Your energy to me is cool, but your energy to other people is messed up, and that's eventually gonna bring down our relationship because I'm gonna like lose business and stuff like that because you couldn't keep the guy's spouse. And she's like, I don't like her. Like, what's the, you know what I'm saying? So like, I want to find that out early.
And shout out to that's one thing I can say about her.
Oh man, just eat, dude. Like, ridiculous.
Any room,
ridiculous.
Any room that she walks
ridiculous.
in, like it's like I'll give you a perfect example, right? Like, cause she's, I mean, I don't consider myself an extrovert. You're an extrovert.
Yeah.
I turn it on when I need to, but she's an extrovert, right? In terms of like just her personality and energy. If we go to a dinner, you go to the dinners, like a long table, like everybody. I'm the type of person, I'm like, yo, good to see everybody. I'm gonna sit my black ass down.
Yeah.
Her, she gonna walk around and touch, greet, hug every person before she sits down. And I love that about her because I don't have to be that at all times. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with business, right? It's like I don't have to, I know Carter's gonna pick you out the ground, give you a hug, spin you around a little bit. I don't gotta do that. Yo, let's go, good to see you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I love that about her, and that's something I did notice early on. I was like, oh, she could work a room, like she could really hold it down, and you'd be surprised how much of an asset that is.
Dude, it's extremely important. Like, think about this: a man's wife has the most influence on his decision making than anybody else he's gonna be with. Like, he spends the most time with her more than his team, more than his boys or whatever. So she's gonna have the biggest influence on his decision making. If you go out to dinner with a billionaire client, a multimillionaire client, if his wife likes your wife, that's half the battle, more than half the battle, right? But like, cause she's gonna influence his decision making whether he knows it or not. So if your woman's energy is off, dude, like it can cost you millions and millions and millions of dollars, man.
Let's talk about interesting thought, right? Because you're in Colombia. For those who don't know by now, we were both about to move to Dallas, Texas, plant our flag.
And believe it or not, I'm actually ready to leave Medellin.
Yeah, he told me that. I was like, wow.
Yeah, bro. It's crazy.
Wow, he's ready to leave. That's crazy, right?
Crazy.
So y'all gonna get more of this energy because we're gonna be in the same city. But my point of bringing this up is you're in Colombia right now. Obviously, you mentioned there's plenty of beautiful women. What I want to understand is the balance from your perspective. I have a perspective, but the balance of like the difference between settling and finding contentment in the fact that there's more to a relationship than just how fine she is. Like, where do you draw that line? And here's what, and I'll unpack that a little bit. What I mean is, you're at a point in life where you feel like you don't have to. I mean, I don't want to. Nobody wants to settle, right? Like, but like now that you understand that a relationship is more, what do you feel like is more of a like, I'm willing to compromise or understand that this is an important overall dynamic for a relationship versus like, this is a hard line of saying, I don't care what, like I should never have to settle or compromise on this thing. Like, where do you think like those balances are?
Well, I mean, from an attraction level, I just wanted it to be attractive at like, I don't want my girls to need to have makeup on to be attractive. That's number one, right? Because I hate the cake face. But I think something I'm never settling for is a woman who doesn't make me feel like I'm a superhero. And I think what I mean by that is like your woman should be your biggest fan, and she should never be a bigger fan of herself than she is of you, right? Because some women who are super bad, they more infatuated themselves than they are about anybody else. So I think that like I would never settle. I don't care how bad you are or whatever. If you can't be my biggest fan, like it's a wrap. It's a wrap. And so that's why you kind of like I don't want a 10, bro. Like the guys are chasing 10, like it's so like, bro, you know what comes with that, man?
Right.
You know what comes with that? Like, give me a solid 8.7.
7, 8. The personality's out the Richter.
Yeah, but really 8.5 to 9.2. That's the sweet spot.
You don't want 9.2. They think they're 10. Anything above 8.5, they think they're 10.
I'll go 8.5 to 9. I'll try to reel the 9 back. And it's gonna be a lot of mental gains at the beginning to get, but like 8.5, 9, like 8.7 is perfect. You know what I'm saying? And with the right personality, all that stuff, you good, man. You good.
Because what happened is if they're really fine, but they're annoying, like it almost annoy you more because it's like now I'm dealing with this pretty face that just is really getting on. Like, why are you annoying me? Like this shouldn't even be happening.
If you just don't talk, we were fine.
Right, like, just please. No, I get it. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. So I am curious. Any guys watching this, give us your thoughts in the comments. Any ladies watching this, give us your thoughts in the comments, because this is one of those episodes, and like, you know, as we learn and we get older and we grow, things change.
Right.
But I think that moving to Colombia for this last year and a half has done more for me mentally to understand what I want in a woman than, like, you know, 5 years in experience in the U.S. Because, you know, Colombia just move fast. You get all the baddest women. And you get to see like what you don't like and what you're not willing to put up with.
Right.
So any fellas, check it out.
What I would say, I know a lot of people ain't thought about this. If you plan to have kids with your woman, but you chasing these Instagram models with the fake bodies, just understand the kid ain't gonna come out looking like the girl.
Oh, that's good. Because you and that's what, bro, Colombia, like, surgery is so, like, I didn't realize how big surgery was, right? I knew all the girls kind of looked alike, but it's like, I don't know why, because they all get their cheeks done at 16. They get their jaw done. Everybody get their nose done. They get the lip injection. So you think she's fine. Like, here's how you find out. Yeah. When you book her flight, when y'all about to take her on
the driver's license,
you about to take her on vacation, bro. She has to send you the photo of the ID
that she probably had for a few years.
Yeah, that she had for a minute, and because you know they get IDs at like 17, 18.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then we'll get another one if they get their passport. So you see the ID. Like some girls will even send you the ID like with like an emoji over the face.
Oh, just so you get the information.
So you get the information.
Wow,
bro, it's bad. Like you see, but oh shit,
how different.
This how my kids gonna look.
Yeah,
scary hours.
So y'all chasing them IG baddies.
That's why I'm out. I was
you know what I'm saying?
Get me back home. I'm ready to come home.
I'm gonna get you up out of there. I'm ready to come home. Up out of there, man.
Yeah, man. Scary.
Yeah, man. But yeah, so that's, you know, our perspective again is, you know, his truth, my truth, not the truth. But I think it's important to know. And I'm glad that, you know, you've had time to, you know, get your perspective and learn how you want to approach it. And then for me, what's interesting is I would say you're going to grow in a relationship and it's okay for the thoughts to evolve. And you just got to have that conversation with your partner, right? Like you just got to have that conversation with your partner in terms of your expectations. Because at that point, we already passed the looks piece of it, right? So it's like, what things are your non-negotiables? And I'm comfortable saying this. I told this to Madge, like when we first started dating. I told her, I was like, I don't have the expectation for you to be a fitness model, right? But I do have the expectation for you to always care enough about yourself because you want to look good for me, right? Like I told her that from the beginning. It's like literally when we was like weeks in, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's okay to have standards. Like you can call it superficial, you can call it what you want, but we got to be real. At the end of the day, when you get married, the expectation is that you're with that person for the rest of y'all's life. So if you're not willing to be real about your expectations, about what your wants, that's why divorce happens, right? Because what happens is they're walking around doing something you don't like, or you've evolved and you've grown and you haven't shared it with them. And as a result, eventually you're just too chicken shit to have the conversation about wanting them, like what you want to see change. And as a result, it's easier to, from your vantage point,
to start over,
to call it quits.
Yeah, just start over.
Right?
Yeah.
You got to be willing to have those tough conversations.
And have it early so it don't pile up. It's too late to go back.
100%.
Like if she put on 10 pounds, have it at 10 pounds. If it was
don't have it at 30.
Yeah, 35, 40 pounds, bro. It's a harder conversation and a longer lag time to the result. So
yeah, and at the end of the day, you also want them to be their best. Like it's like, yeah, I want you to, you know, look good and feel good, but it's like, I want you to be around. And if you're overweight, unnecessarily overweight, beyond your control, because I know we did another episode and we got a little flag and pushback for it.
Let's go back there. Let's not go back there.
Yeah, let's not go back. But yeah, like we just want your spouse is to me. That's what you'll learn. That's the biggest thing. We can end on this note for the most part. Like I learned in marriage that your significant other, and you learn in the business too, but a business partner is your mirror, right? when you're single or doing whatever or running a business by yourself, you can do what you want, when you want to do, how you want to do it. You don't have to face nobody.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have somebody to face, and that's your mirror of the areas in your life where you have to grow, right? And if you have the desire to grow in life, then having a great relationship can be one of the best things if you're willing to embrace it. So hope y'all enjoyed that episode. Y'all, again, let us know in the comments what's your thoughts. Let us know if you want to hear some more perspective. Should we get a lady or a woman on to balance it out and give their perspective on this dynamic? I think that'd be cool. What high value women want? A woman who's already high value, like what does she want? I think that'd be a good, interesting perspective. But other than that, y'all, until the next episode.
Peace.
Peace.